Hello, dear friends, and welcome to Sabbath Reflections. I'm Father Daniel Gutierrez, and today we celebrate the 14th Sunday of Ordinary Time. And also, as Americans, of course, we celebrate Independence Day weekend, which, of course, we celebrated yesterday in a special way. Very special because we couldn't do much about it except watch fireworks from where we could. And yet, it's in this context, friends, that our blessed Lord gives us a very unique image this week. You see, usually when we think of somebody helping themselves or bettering themselves, we think of all of these self-help gurus, who give us these wisdom, this sort of wisdom or special secrets that we in turn use and interiorize and use for ourselves. And I'm not saying there's anything necessarily wrong with that. It offers, in order to achieve a sense of peace, in order to truly become who we're meant to be, is not a self-help program at all. Sometimes I fear that we take this sort of mentality into our faith life by going to our Lord and saying, okay, well, why don't you give me the secret I need, and I'll go ahead and do my best, and then I'll call you if I have any questions. No, instead, he gives us a different image to describe what discipleship, what life with and for God looks like. And that's the image of being yoked. Our Lord says today, put my yoke upon you. And if we're not paying attention, and probably because it's also just an outdated image, we may lose the significance of what our Lord is telling us. Yes, of course, he's inviting us to a very intimate relationship with the Trinity. A relationship that was already begun the day you and I were lowered into the waters of baptism. Yes, he is offering a place of rest, a place where we can feel safe, that even in our vulnerabilities, we can rest with God and truly find rest, not just in the life hereafter, but in this life as well. But what we may miss when we hear those words of our Lord to take his yoke upon us is an invitation to live life with him now, today, in the midst of whatever it is we're going through. The yoke, dear friends, if you don't know, is a device used on beasts of burden, cows, oxen, these sorts of animals that would help the farmer plow the field or till the soil in order to make an abundant harvest. And so it's placed on the backs of those animals side by side who are to do the heavy lifting in order to accomplish the work that needs to be done. What our Lord is telling us, in essence, is that we have to be yoked with him, which means a few things. That, like those animals tilling a field, for instance, that what we're going to be involved with is hard work. But because we are yoked with Christ, he's with us stride for stride. In other words, it's not he gives us our mission, we go and do our thing. It's his mission involves him himself. It involves a partnership, an intimate partnership, which is taking place day by day, moment by moment, such that every time we take that step forward, every burden we bear, we don't bear it alone if and only if we give him the chance to share that burden, friends. And that's what we have to remember today. That's what we have to look to. That if we really want to achieve peace in our life, a true peace, a lasting peace, then it's not just about following some sagely advice of these self-help gurus, so that we can find our own way, but instead that the way has already been paved for us. But are we willing to be yoked with Christ in order to do that? Are we willing to go with him stride for stride, to be consistent, to be constant in our ability not just to reach out to him when we need something, but to recognize that he already agreeing to be with us is asking that we allow him to lift the burden as well, to really place on his shoulders everything that we're going through. Yes, we take our personal responsibility. Yes, we do our part for what we can. But a big part of what we do, what we're called to do, is to allow him to help us. And in that relationship, in that trust is found the peace and the rest that he speaks of in today's gospel, such that we don't have to worry about, doing it on our own, as if life and the life we're called to is our project, to be lived on our terms. If that's what you think Christianity is about, you have a whole other thing coming. And let's be honest, that's a very exhausting way to live. Lord knows there isn't any one of us that struggles with pride in one form or another, thinking, okay, and truly treating God as if he is like customer service, which none of us like to deal with anyways, right? We can figure it out on our own. We don't need to read the instructions. We don't need to call anybody. And yet he's saying, no, I'm not the backup. I'm not plan B. I'm everything. All in or nothing at all. So, dear friends, this discipleship he offers us is a tall order to fulfill. Nobody will deny that. Being a Christian is incredibly hard work. It means we go against the grain most of the times of society. It means that we have to even conquer and fight with ourselves as we wrestle with being selfish and selfless. Nevertheless, our Lord's promise is that if we enter this earnestly and zealously and authentically, then the only way to truly do it right is to do it with him, in him, and through him. That's what he offers, friends. Dear parish family, and to all watching, I do hope that you have a happy Sabbath on this 14th Sunday of Ordinary Time, and continue to enjoy, of course, the holiday weekend, a day as we celebrated yesterday, where we acknowledge the freedoms we have as Americans and the hope that still lies if we're willing to work together to really use that freedom, that hopefully we'll be united in compassion as one nation founded truly under God, not under man. And so, dear friends, I do wish you, and on behalf of all of us, a happy 4th of July weekend. Now, unfortunately, of course, there's always something, right? I recorded the Mass last night. It went beautifully. And then I put it to upload on my iPad at home and thinking I'd wake up in the morning and it'd be done. Well, it wasn't done. So I had to restart the upload process, bring it to the office where the internet's slightly better. And so I'm hopeful that it might upload sometime this afternoon. I really am. And I'm sorry for that. I just need to work on getting better internet for the parish, which I am doing, and will be done soon. But as it is with church life, there's only two speeds, slow and stop. And so we're hoping for a little faster, but we will get there. Until then, friends, regardless of what lies in the field ahead of you, what work, light as it seems or backbreaking though you may fear, we are called to be yoked with Christ in this field of life to produce an abundant harvest of faith. Thank you for watching, and thank you for all you do. Our parishioners, Lord knows you make me so happy and so proud. I'm so glad that we don't have to want for anything, that we're not hurting spiritually or financially, because with your prayers and your donations and overall packaged in your love for your community, for your faith community, you take care of us. And I know you will continue to do that. And I know you will continue to pray for me as I do for you as we traverse this crazy field of 2020, figuring out how best to keep each other safe and to keep each other hopeful in Christ, the one we are yoked with. God bless you and have a wonderful day.